Good morning, children. Chapter 12, The Climate of India. The climate of India. See, this is map of India. Summer, monsoons, Indian Ocean. Winter, monsoons, Himalayan mountains. Weather and climate. Weather and climate. What is weather, children? What is weather? So I think lesson number 10, weather. So we already taken weather. So in that lesson I explained to you weather and climate we have studied. Now this lesson is weather and climate of India. So what is climate? So in previous lesson we have studied what is weather. Now we will study about what is climate. What is climate? What is weather? The term weather refers to the atmospheric conditions of a place at a particular time. Weather means the term weather refers to the atmospheric conditions of a place at a particular time. So we often say it is very hot or it is very pleasant. Here we refer to the weather conditions of that place at that particular time. So weather will change from day to day. Of course, children, so I already explained to you climate and the weather differentiation. So weather which keeps on changing day by day, but climate remains for a period of longer period climate remains. So if you ask, usually if you ask our neighbors or a people, what is the weather today? So they look at the sky or they look at around and say, yeah, I think today is bit chill or very hot or very sunny. So these are the words we hear from the people. Of course, children, weather keeps on changing. So now recently we saw, now since 2 to 3 days back, just before eclipse, it was very cloudy, so windy and a breeze it was blowing. The weather was full chill. So even we had a previous night even the rain. So how it is? Why? Suddenly the weather changes. Yeah, we had heard that in Chennai there was a cyclone. So that had affected the areas around it. Even Bangalore there was a lot of rain. Even here and there we could hear the rainfall. Even in our place Chikkodi we had bit of rain. So that day, whole day the weather was very gloomy, cloudy and very chill it was. So it is, of course, it is a condition of a place at a particular time. Of course, it was affected by the cyclone all over the India, but it did not rain everywhere. So it rained only in some places. So that means the atmospheric condition of that place at a particular time it had been affected. So dear children, Very often, as we say, hot, or it's very pleasant, very cloudy, very good. So this is happens because of the changes of the weather. So in these pictures also, can you see the 4 pictures are there, the 4 layers of the pictures are there. You can see the bit of changes in a cloud, bit of changes in sky. So how they have been changing. So that is of the atmospheric conditions. So what is weather, children? The term weather refers to the atmospheric conditions of a place at a particular time. So we often say it is very hot or it is very pleasant. Here we refer to the weather conditions of that place at that particular time. So weather will change from day to day. So weather doesn't remain the same. Weather will keep on changing day by day. So that is called the weather. So now next, what is climate? What is climate? Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. The climate affects our daily life. Our food, clothing and housing depends largely on the climate of the place where we live. Some places have hot climate and some have cold. Some have heavy rainfall and some have not enough rainfall. See children, the climate is the average weather conditions of a place over a long period of time. So as I explained you, the climate remains for a longer period of time. It doesn't change day by day. It remains for a longer time. The climate affects our way of life. Of course, the climate affects our way of life. Even our food, clothing, house depends largely on the climate of the place where we live. So sometimes if we go to certain places, we see the houses. Some houses are made up of stone, built with stones, with much, without the much windows. In olden days, you see the windows were very small to the houses. Or sometimes you see if you go this side near Gulbarga, Bagalkot, Bijapur, this Bidar, Yadgiri. If at all you go this side, the houses are made up of mud. Houses are made up of mud and they are of the tiles house. Why they are made up of mud? So these are the places very hot. These are the places are very hot. Even the very sunny it is. If we stay in those places, what happens now? Really very hot. It is very hot. Your back will burn. Your back will burn. Such the hot sun will be there in those places. So even if you go there, even the growth of the vegetation also is very less. Even if you go in the month of April, May and all, very hot, you cannot stay there. So therefore the people, when they know the climate of those areas, those places, therefore even their food also will change, clothing also is different, even the house where they live also are different. So they build the house with the mud so that the house does not absorb much heat. So it remains cool. Which houses are made up of mud, they remain cool. So therefore, till today, if you go to those places, some of the old houses you see made up of mud but very strong. Very small windows they would keep. So, but the in other way, if you go to some other places, so if you go to some other places where the climate is very pleasant, very moderate, and always you'll have a chill or cold conditions, those houses you see, their houses are quite different. Those houses are quite different. So dear children, even why there will be changes in food, clothing and housing, that is because of the climate. In which place, what type of climate is there, the people live according to that type of conditions. So therefore, climate is the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. The climate affects our daily life. Our food, clothing and housing depends largely on the climate of the place where we live. Some places have hot climate and some have cold. Some have heavy rainfall and some have not enough rainfall. This is only of the weather condition of a place, how the climate is. So even sometimes the weather condition of a place changes. So therefore, this all the things we experience. Children, go through the lesson, read for yourself and try to understand.